Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT The Game Season 1, Episode 21. We are just 3 days away, 3 events, 3 shows away from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Let's get straight into the action. Tom Phillips, Nigel McGinnis, and Steve Corino welcome us to NXT. Tom Phillips says that tonight at NXT we're going to have one hell of a show. The camera stands on them for a while as we fade to ringside. Alright, the camera shows on the ramp Crowe's Nest, led by the returning Solomon Crowe, formerly NXT fame. Donston Masada hit the ramp with insane heavy metal music playing. The trio make their way down the ramp and to the ring. And about that at Subpar Wrestling in Little Heat, the Crow's Nest defeats Ho Ho Loon and Tian Bin in 7 minutes when Dons defeats Ho Ho Loon by pinfall with a bloodbath. Dons was head and shoulders above everyone else. The Crow's Nest gets the victory here tonight on NXT in their debut match. After destroying Ho Ho Loon and Tian Bin, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa run through the crowd trying to catch Crow's Nest off guard. However, Crowe, Dons, and Masada are able to slowly stand out of the ring as the fans go crazy with DIY puffing up against them. Tom Phillips says on commentary that after the debut of the Crow's Nest at NXT TakeOver Deep South at the expense of DIY, that William Regal has booked DIY to take on all 3 members of the Crow's Nest at Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa's ask in a handicap match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So that's a big one. We'll have the Crow's Nest taking on DIY in a 2-on-3 handicap match. DIY asking for that handicap match. They wanted all of them. They didn't want 2. They didn't want 1. They wanted 3. They wanted every single member of the Crow's Nest. All right, next, we are shown highlights of William Regal making Peyton Royce defend her NXT Women's Championship against Candice LeRae at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and a no DQ match given what's happened in recent weeks. All right, and about that at Subpar Wrestling in Little Heat, Ember Moon defeats Daria in 3 minutes and 33 seconds with the O-Face. Ember Moon gets the victory here tonight on NXT. All right, next, the crowd cheers as for the first time we see Curtis Axel since losing to Bobby Roode at NXT TakeOver Deep South. Kathy Kelly welcomes him. He thanks her. Kathy asks what he's been up to since Deep South. Axel takes a deep breath and says losing was a huge setback, but I've been reflecting, says Curtis Axel. Up walks Mr. NXT. Kathy turns to Mr. NXT. Mr. NXT says, to be honest, I'm not sure it's a step back, rather just of aggression to the means. Axel smirks. Mr. NXT looks at Curtis Axel and says the last time he saw him, he was on his back. Axel postures and says Mr. NXT is talking a big game and challenges him to a match tonight. Mr. NXT just smirks. Mr. NXT says he doesn't just fight whoever, whenever, and he should go talk to Regal if he wants to fight him. He says he's the big fight type of guy. Mr. NXT walks away as Curtis Axel watches. So Mr. NXT poking his nose into where it does not belong yet again. Drew McIntyre now is shown sitting backstage getting ready. He'll be in the main event tonight, taking on HIDEO ITAMI, as was announced at the end of last show. HIDEO ITAMI obviously Drew McIntyre, as the two sure are fighting it out. One hell of a battle last week, but the two are still trying to find out who will face Bobby Roode at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Alright, next, in a decent match, the Authors of Pain defeat TM61 in 18 minutes when Razor defeats Shane Thorne via pinfall. The Authors of Pain defeat TM61, and as per book last week, TM61 is no longer granted a tag team title opportunity, while the Authors of Pain are those champions. So, big loss for TM61 tonight. Next, we see HIDEO ITAMI walking down the backstage hallway on his way to the ring. The main event is coming up next. With NXT TakeOver Brooklyn just 3 shows away, William Regal has made it known that with another set of matches. For the first time ever, we're going to have a pre-show with matches here on NXT TakeOver events, and Regal has booked 2 good ones. At NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, we are going to see TM61 take on Sanity, as well as Sanity's Nikki Cross taking on Ruby Riott. But that's not all. Added to the main card, after the events in recent weeks, Aleister Black will finally get his hands on Sanity's leader, Eric Young. Lots of Sanity-based matches added to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. In our main event, in a decent match, HIDEO ITAMI drew with Drew McIntyre when the referee lost control and stopped the match yet again. HIDEO ITAMI and Drew McIntyre going one-on-one to see who will face Bobby Roode at Brooklyn. Can't get a complete match out of the two of these guys as it was descended into chaos. Got the crowd hotter. Hideo's working with injury, but he's working through it. I'm really pushing this match here. Alright, next, as the match yet again falls on a new finish. William Regal comes out, looks around as the fans are booing another non-finish. Regal looks at Bobby Roode and grabs a house mic. He apologizes. Regal says, Bobby, it looks like we have 2 worthy competitors. So I'm going to do the only thing that's right. At NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3, it's going to be Bobby Roode defending his NXT Championship, not only against Drew MCINTYRE, but also HIDEO ITAMI in a triple threat NXT Championship match. The fans cheer and chant NXT as the competitors' faces are shown, fading us out. So that's a big development here. We're going to have a triple threat. All right, 65 rating, very, very good. Increases in 44 regions. This was NXT The Game Season 1, Episode 21. Thanks for watching, everyone. We are 2 shows away now from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Have a great evening.